Well, Jamie Redknapp has gone down to the tunnel to get some more reaction. We'll be hearing that very shortly. So Gary Neville has come up to join us. Virgil van Dijk just saying there that Liverpool will analyse that and look to improve on their performance. But how significant a win was it for them?
It was huge. I wouldn't overanalyse it. I mean, they were a little sloppy at times in the second half, but it's a really big win. You look at the week they've got now with Manchester United next weekend as well. It was difficult today at times because they made a couple of mistakes. That left side, that defence is outstanding. I mean, the whole defence is outstanding. The goalkeeper's brilliant. They're doing everything that a championship team should be doing, and I can't see anybody stopping them now. You're smiling at me, Ken.
I'm smiling because I like it when you're in pain. That's the only reason.
No, they're brilliant to watch. I mean, the centre forward Firmino, I think any manager in the world would have him as their centre forward in their team. I think he's absolutely incredible, Firmino. He's just selfless, brilliant, scores goals, sets things up. They can link off him, makes all the right runs. Just outstanding player. It
wasn't the perfect performance, though, as Gary was saying.
No, but I always felt that Liverpool had another gear to go into when Tottenham had a sort of 5 or 10 minute period. Then Liverpool would sort of step it up. I think we said about Jose's game plan, and it always has been the same in big games. It's about not making mistakes and wait for the opposition to make mistakes. And the chances Spurs got were from Liverpool's mistakes. That's what it always came from. I think Henderson in the first half a couple of times. I think there was one with Wijnaldum, one where Gomez and Trent sort of crossed over each other, fell over each other. So that's always they come from. And we probably have a good chat about Spurs and where they're actually going forward. But I actually don't think Jose will be too disappointed with how Spurs actually performed and how this game went. He will have wanted to stay in the game with 10, 15 minutes to go, and that's what he had in some ways. And you were mentioning on commentary about the fullbacks not going forward. We mentioned at half-time how long it would be before the game plan changed. It didn't really change. Again, you're just waiting for mistakes from Liverpool, and they just didn't capitalise when they got those chances.
He doesn't want to talk about records, but we might do just that in a second. But almost as interesting as what he was saying was how he said it, Jamie. It was a very low-key interview, particularly given the position that they find themselves in off the back of that win.
Yeah, absolutely. To a certain extent, it's almost a perfect scenario. You win, you get your 3 points, you didn't play well, and it's almost a little bit of a kick at the backside just to say to the players, listen, we've got to play better than this if we want to carry on the run we're on. And at times, I mean, they just needed to finish. There was a couple of opportunities where they should have scored, put Tottenham to bed, because it's not easy, Kelly. When you play against a side that's sitting back, they've got men behind the ball, they're pretty passive, they're not trying to really go and win the ball off you, it becomes a bit boring. And I think at times Liverpool got bored, they had so much possession of the ball, and it was only really sort of last 15 minutes where Tottenham had a bit of a go, stuck a few balls into the box, could have maybe got a draw out the game. But Liverpool would have been kicking themselves, not won that. They were by far the better team. And they were actually at times the only team that really wanted to win the game. Tottenham were trying to win by getting a dead ball or trying to nick the ball off Liverpool in midfield. And it's a game they should have been a lot more comfortable in, really. I
just wonder, with those records, like the one that they're extending their unbeaten run at the moment to 38 games. At the moment, it's, fifth in the list of the longest unbeaten runs in English football. 2.74 points per game is the highest on that list. So 104 points over that time. I wonder if, as Jamie said, when you're winning and it all feels very comfortable, if actually chasing records can be an extra motivation rather than ignoring it, maybe they could use it. Is that possible?
I think the records at this moment in time for Jurgen Klopp, to be honest with you, are an absolute incidental. I think that for Liverpool Football Club, the only thing that matters is lifting that Premier League trophy. I know that will come with winning games and obviously breaking records, but I think at this moment in time, so close. I think that lead is unassailable. I think he will never say that, and he's right not to say that because there's still points to play for and things can happen. But his team are playing so well, they're so in control. It's a team that's still growing, that's still getting better, and to win the Premier League for Liverpool is the only thing that matters. He won't care if he loses another 2 games, 1 game, if he goes unbeaten. He just wants that trophy. He just wants that medal. The fans over in that corner, that's all they're looking for. And the records, I think, when we were asking Pep about it last year in terms of the 100 points and all that sort of stuff, because City have won it in the last few years, it was probably, you could look towards records and how do you beat their previous title victories. But for Liverpool, it's all about just getting that title victory, that Premier League title, that first Premier League title.
But it is interesting to us, Jamie, the way that Liverpool are going about it. And if you look at the margins of victory this season, 10 of their wins have come by just 1 goal. Does that tell us anything?
Yes, it tells you the change in Jurgen Klopp and this team. It's not just Van Dijk coming in the goalkeeper, the maturity of working with Jurgen Klopp. I didn't think Liverpool, or certainly Jurgen Klopp as a manager, was capable of getting numbers like that in terms of how they win games. Now, they've only won here by 1 goal. Klopp's disappointed at the end that he didn't get more goals. But they always look comfortable in games. Very rarely, even when they've got that 1 goal lead, they back themselves. I mean, there's a 6 clean sheets on the bounce now, really. And I just didn't think I'd see this team. When Klopp came in, it was end-to-end, it was exciting. They were the most exciting team to watch. Now they're the best team to watch. Maybe not the most exciting at times, but they always just do enough in games. And always throughout the big games is when they've actually been at the best in some ways. Probably weren't at the best today, but the development of this team over so many years, really, and the change Klopp's brought, I just didn't think it was possible to do when he first came in. We knew he was a top manager, and Liverpool was going to be a top team and have top players, but to get to the stage where they are now, best team in the world.
I think the big change is, I think Jamie's absolutely right, concentration levels are so much higher in this Liverpool team now than a few years ago. I always felt with 20 minutes to go, if Liverpool were 2-0 up, you could get back at them just because they would give you a chance. I don't look at this team now over the last 18 months, 2 years, and think that they give you too many chances. Yeah, they did give 1 or 2 chances today, but I think the concentration levels are high. Van Dijk is special. He has made a massive difference to that defence. I think he's given the rest of the defenders that, just looking up to him in terms of the standard, he's shown them the standard that you have to expect. He doesn't make mistakes.
Obviously, we're spot on. We all speak about Van Dijk. I actually think the goalkeeper's equally as important as Van Dijk. His performance today, you'd look at it and think he didn't make a great save. He never makes a great save. And that's the sign of a great keeper. Everything looks easy. Yeah. Against Spurs in the Champions League final was very similar to some of the effort Spurs had today, but they were in not great chances, but half chances, and he just deals with it so easy. He catches everything, and he makes everything look so easy, really. And I listen, we speak about Van Dijk, he's amazing and he massive influence. I think equally as much as the goalkeeper.
I think the recruitment's been incredible as well at the club. When you go through the back 5, the goalkeeper's been a great signing. He didn't mess about. He knew he needed to get a goalkeeper and he got him in. They've got a young right back who's come through the system, which is the dream. And he could really go on to be one of the best right backs ever. He has that potential. You've got Virgil van Dijk, and whoever plays alongside him, it doesn't really matter. And you signed Robertson, for £8 million from Hull? Been incredible recruitment, and back 4, back 5 is so solid. It's so difficult to beat, and the way that they play as well is just, with so much energy.
What the recruitment is, and listen, it is being fantastic, and Liverpool are looked at as like this model for everyone else to copy now with recruitment. But I think when we say recruitment, we talk about every team, and it's every your recruitment's, if you don't get that right, you finish type of thing. It's not that Liverpool are just buying players and this special ability that no one else sees these players. Actually, you're talking about Robertson, he come from Hull. Wijnaldum got relegated. I think Robertson got relegated with Hull. Wijnaldum got relegated with Newcastle. Salah had been at Chelsea. Mane was in the Premier League for a few years with Southampton. So you're actually looking at it and thinking, it's not like Liverpool are just going to the best clubs in the world and buying the best players. It's okay buying players. It's what you do when you've got with them. And I think sometimes we forget that when we talk about Manchester United, maybe recruitment in the past few years or different teams. Once you've got that player, you've got to improve that player. And that's what Jurgen Klopp probably doesn't get enough credit for. The actual work he does probably as a coach and what Liverpool do, when they get these players in and make them the level that Liverpool aren't buying superstars, they're making them superstars.
They're a team of stars with no ego. They've got not one ego in that team. They don't carry any. We all talk about other teams now and having passengers or people causing problems. I can't imagine for Jurgen Klopp, he has one problem dealing with that squad. There's not one person that he thought, Lee looks a bit of a bad egg. They are all at it every single week.
But I wonder if that question of man management, and because he's seen as a good man manager, as a good motivator, that the tactical side of him is underestimated. Do you think that?
It is, and we always talk about Liverpool, and listen, every manager has their way of doing things, and we talk about Liverpool 4-3-3, but that's being very simplistic with it, really. There's a lot of times there's changes within that. Sometimes Salah will go up the front. I think there was a game this season where he completely changed the front 3 rounds against Leicester, just to give them a different problem. I think what he did with Firmino last season, he actually went to a 2-man midfield and not a 3, just to help him integrate himself in there. So there's a lot of intricacies in different systems, and not just Jurgen Klopp, lots of managers. But as I say, I think we've always pigeonholed managers. Alex Ferguson, I'm sure he's the motivator as well, the hairdryer, but I'm sure there's a lot more football intelligence there, and Jurgen Klopp's the same.
They are adaptable now, Liverpool. I think we've always thought about, what's the philosophy of manager, and we think about philosophies, but actually you watch Liverpool and you see them counter-attacking, you see them pressing. With 10 minutes to go today, they switched into a team that went into all of a sudden a really compact shape that was sort of like midway through the pitch. I don't know how that happened. So who called that? Was it Jurgen Klopp? Was it one of the players on the pitch? But they are adapting during games. But going back to your point about the goalkeeper, and because I played, we played with great goalkeepers like Edwin van der Sar and played with Peter Schmeichel, who made things look easy. Some of those saves that Alisson made today, where he just sort of scooped them into his arms and just fell on the floor, and it made it look like it's a routine catch. Honestly, no word of a lie, because of his position, his anticipation, he's in a position to be able to make it look like that. Other goalkeepers in the Premier League that we see would have been flailing across there, diving, parrying it across, and the fans behind the goal would have been saying, great save, and we'd have been saying, what a save from the goalkeeper, but it's not. The really top goalkeepers make the most simple things look cool, calm, they give authority to the whole defence. And you're right to mention not Alisson, because ultimately I think today he was a big part of that game, because he just didn't give Tottenham a sniff.
State of play then at the moment is that Liverpool are top of the table, but they are 16 points clear of Leicester. They have a game in hand over them. They've played the same number of games as Manchester City, and they are 15 points clear of Manchester City, and Manchester City will play against Aston Villa tomorrow. Looking at the next games coming up for Liverpool, we were talking about Tottenham as being potentially one of the toughest fixtures they're going to face even between now and the end of the season. Across there, they've already mentioned Manchester United. Any other problems in there, do you think?
I thought they had to drop points today and next weekend to give a sort of hope to anybody. If they lost here today and then lost at home to Manchester United, you could imagine back down to sort of 9 or 10 points, you might think something could happen. But that's not the nature of today. I thought they were completely in control. I know Jose will say that they had one or two moments, and they did, but that was a top team we were watching today who will win the league.
Yeah, I said it 5-6 weeks ago. The difference last year with Man City and Liverpool head-to-head, they were both at it, but this Liverpool side are just so good, so strong. They're focused, they've got the eyes on the prize. I just don't see anything else but a Liverpool. Bookies are paying out and they're no mugs.